In 1954, Walt Disney, the man behind the biggest animation studio in America, Walt Disney Studios, was quoted as saying, "It all started by a mouse," obviously referring to his famous character and mascot of his studio, Mickey Mouse. One thing about Walt Disney, though, is that he loved creating fairy tale-like stories no matter how unrealistic they were to a real story that actually happened. This included his statement about Mickey Mouse, for his success did not start with a mouse but actually a rabbit instead. This is the unlucky story of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Walt Disney's first big successful creation in the animation industry, and the bittersweet ups and downs that happened shortly after the rabbit's short-lived success. The story begins after the minor success of Walt Disney and his business partner UB Iwerks animated live-action hybrid series for Winkler Productions, The Alice Comedies, a series about a little girl named Alice transported into a cartoon world with the toon character Julius the cat. The series was overall well received, but the men were itching to create something different, which Charles Mitz, the co-owner of Winkler Productions, supported. During this period, Universal Studios was also looking for a character who could rival the popularity of Felix the Cat, as he was an iconic cartoon powerhouse of the 1920s. Mitz was able to make a deal with Universal to allow Walt Disney, UB Iwerks, and their team to create 26 animated shorts with a new character, and by 1927, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was created, debuting in his first short, Poor Papa. Interestingly enough, Poor Papa was not well received by Mitz or Universal, as they felt the animation quality was sloppy and Oswald as a character felt too old and unengaging to the audience. After profusely apologizing, Walt Disney and UB Iwerks went back to the drawing board. The next short they produced, Trolley Troubles, was extremely successful as they took the critiques they received before and improved upon those weak points. Oswald, for example, was changed to be much more lively as he responded to the situations within his world rather than just being a part of it, like in Poor Papa. He also added to the humor with his cheeky personality and quirky personality traits, like his ability to take his foot and scratch himself with it, paying homage to the lucky rabbit foot prominent in many cultures. The quality of the animation was massively improved as well, with Iwerks' impressive understanding of perspective, as many shots and scenes were to mimic actual shots in movies at the time, which was overall more entertaining for the audience to watch. After Trolley Troubles, many other shorts were produced and were just as successful, which further pushed Oswald as a beloved cartoon in the public's eye. He became so popular at one point that Universal started to allow merchandise. They were promoted, quote, as Oswald tie-in products, the first being an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit chocolate bar that hit the shelves in 1927. Other products included an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit stencil kit, a pinback, button, and a variety of plush toys and figurines, even though some of the plush toys were never officially named Oswald products, but the appearance of these products made it evident they were the same character. Because of all this, things appear to be looking up for Walt Disney, as the more shorts he and his team created, the more popular Oswald became. With this much success, Walt felt untouchable, but what Walt Disney didn't know was that this chapter of his life would soon come to a close, as something sinister was being planned behind the scenes. Mitz, who managed Winkler Productions, the company that helped Walt and Iwerks produce the Oswald shorts, was never really impressed with Walt Disney and thought Disney asked for too much for the sloppy and little work he and his team did, and each time Mitz would have a meeting with Disney's team, he would, behind Walt Disney's back, convince each member one by one to work for him at Universal Pictures instead of staying with Disney's team of animators. By 1928, and knowing what was to come, Walt Disney went to New York City to talk with Mitz to increase pay from $2,250 to $2,500 per short, but Mitz had other ideas. Mitz gave Walt Disney two options. He was going to either cut pay of $500 per short and take 50% of Walt's profits, or Walt Disney could leave. Outraged, Walt Disney tried to pull Oswald from Universal Pictures to start his own company, but realized he couldn't, as the deal Mitz made with Universal all those years ago stated that Universal owned the copyrights to Oswald, not Walt Disney and UB Iwerks. So they had lost everything. And with nothing else they could do, betrayed, Walt Disney and UB Iwerks walked away from everything, and they never worked on an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit project ever again. This wasn't the end of Oswald, though. As Mitz stated, he and the rest of Walt Disney's ex-team worked on several Oswald the Lucky Rabbit projects until he was fired from Universal later in 1928. Oswald was then given to Walter Lantz, the creator of Woody Woodpecker. Throughout these periods, Oswald went through plenty of different redesigns, but could never keep up with Mickey and friends from Walt Disney Studios pretty much dominating the animation scene. And as Woody Woodpecker became a bigger, more successful project for Lantz, Oswald was retired from animation in 1938. Oswald did hold on a little longer in the comic book industry, having his own comics and being a part of Woody Woodpecker's world, but even then he was retired completely by 1960s. After the 60s, Oswald was pretty much forgotten, other than the small talks in the 90s about rebooting Disney's character of an animated series by Fred Crow, and the small merchandise craze in 2004 in Japan. That was until 2006 when randomly Walt Disney's company CEO Bob Iger made a deal with NBC to trade ESPN sportcaster Al Michaels, who wanted to leave his current contract anyways, with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Once Oswald returned, they not only held a campaign to bring relevance to him in this era, but Mickey and Friends as well. This campaign started out very strongly in the 2010s with the introduction of the video games Epic Mickey in 2010 and Epic Mickey 2 The Power of Two in 2012. Similar to the characteristics of Oswald in the Poor Papa short, Oswald was depicted as more grumpy but still had his more cheeky, mischievous characteristics he's more known for in this game series. He played more of an antagonistic big brother role as he was jealous of Mickey never being forgotten by Walt Disney like Oswald was, becoming the king of the wasteland. Oswald was also introduced to the Walt Disney theme parks as a costume character that you could meet and greet at his newly built Oswald gas station, where merchandise like rabbit-themed hat ears, shirts, plush toys, and other Oswald merchandise could be sold. Between introducing these characters to a new popular medium with the kids, such as video games, and the implementation of Oswald in the Disney parks, it really did seem like a great first step in bringing relevance to Mickey and his long-lost brother Oswald. By 2013, Oswald was given an exclusive 30-second animated short in Japan and had a small cameo first in Mickey Mouse's 2013 short celebrating Mickey Mouse's 85th anniversary, Get a Horse. Throughout the 2010s, Oswald had other small cameos, like in 2014's Big Hero 6, 2016's Zootopia, and other films in that era. Once they gave Mickey Mouse an animated series by Paul Rush, Oswald also had some small Easter egg-like cameos in there as well, but was never given more than that. So Bob Iger did achieve his goal of bringing Mickey Mouse and Friends more into the public's eye by the end of the 2010s, but sadly reduced Oswald to a mere Easter egg that Disney superfans could point out from time to time. To put more salt in the wound, it was revealed in early 2021 that Oswald the Lucky Rabbit was planned to have a Disney Plus exclusive animated series directed by Matt Danner, an animation director and screenwriter for many Disney products, but it was silently canceled after they created concepts and a pilot for the show. As Danner stated in 2021 on X, formerly known as Twitter, that, quote, "The Legend of the Three Caballeros team was going to follow up with an Oswald show for streaming. Scripts written, designs done, animation test in hand, and a pilot in production. It was beautiful. Then we got broken up and scattered to the wind. This is just very sad and makes one wonder if Oswald will even get to star in anything animated that is more than 30 seconds long, or if the Epic Mickey series was his last chance." On a more positive note, back in 2022, they did give Oswald a 1-minute animated short for his 95th anniversary, where he was the star of the show, and back in 2024, they released Epic Mickey Rebrushed, a remake of the original Epic Mickey. Furthermore, Disney still sells merchandise of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, so it is a great sign that they have not completely forgotten about him. Also, as of 2026, Oswald's 100th anniversary is coming next year, so they might even give another animated short to this rabbit, with most likely anniversary merchandise tie-ins as well. Regardless of whether Oswald ever gets another starring role in an anime piece of media, whether it's a short, a television series, or a movie, I think the reintroduction of Oswald was still effective to keep his character alive for decades to come. Ever since his reintroduction in 2010, a small yet dedicated fan base has consistently kept Oswald in their hearts. Throughout this past decade, people have continued to acknowledge this rabbit through buying the merchandise and creating fan art and stories with him. Oswald may have been handed some pretty unlucky cards throughout the years, but he's here and he's here to stay, and we are so lucky to have him.